out there in that big old internet, floating. I see you. Let me get myself right. Fix my shirt like Kevin Samuels. Let me see what's today's fragrance. I got it in here. I use it every day. But I never leave the house with it because I don't want to be the guy in the elevator smelling like Le Hombre by Yves Saint Laurent. And it's called La Intense. Boom. And as you can see, I've had it quite some time. So this is the fragrance of the day. It's been my fragrance for 3 months. It's about right. 3 months worth out of there. I totally missed my whole hand. And I'm not going to spray it again. All right. Got a little bit of my hand. This looks a little close, right? I cut my hair again. I did it myself today. That's my fade. I try to fade it in. I only went up to here, kind of mullet style. Lowered it a little bit here. And then it's going this way. And then it's supposed to be like a Gumby. Yo, I took a flat iron to this hair the other day. Looked like I was ready. I was ready to go out and party and have a good time. But, you know, I jumped in the shower and it went away. All right, this is the best I could do. Yesterday, I almost got scammed. I mean, I would have, the move that I almost got caught out of, it's one of those situations where when you find out that the con is all in and you're like screwed, you kind of respect the person that got you. You know, you're like, wow, all the signs were there that this wasn't right, and you didn't follow your mind. That's why it's great to get older. Troy Terrain from the Star Report says, getting old is the trick. Anyone can do young. And I interpret that to mean, because there's so many meanings that it could have. But for me, it's that you have no choice, kind of, when you're so young. And a lot of things can happen to you, and it might not be your fault necessarily. You're just young. But now at this age, I can only blame myself for not seeing the signs. And I post this kid's image onto my thumbnail, which seems to be a new feature that just popped up. I have tried to use photos in my phone, and it wouldn't let me do it, but now today it does. Boom. So what I did was I responded to an ad on Facebook Marketplace. So now I'm on Facebook Marketplace. Let me give you something better to look at than just me. Boom. So Facebook Marketplace, it was around 1 in the morning, and I'm laying in bed with LJ, of course, and I'm just going through, it wasn't social media, I was looking through Marketplace like I do, just to see about this particular car that I'm looking for, which is a Toyota Solaris convertible, and it has to be the last one they made, which I believe is 2008. So this Toyota Solaris is one of her dream cars from when she was in high school. They don't make the car anymore, and it's a really good car, and you can find them on the internet with 100,000 miles or even less. I saw one with 68,000 miles, and this guy wanted $6,900 for it. And we talked a few times, and then he was like, yo, I sold it. So those are the really, really good ones. The 2007, 2008, which is the second generation, the last year they made. And I believe they only made 3,500 of them. So we have 3,500 cars that are slowly depreciating and getting thrown away, or people are collecting them and saving them because the engines don't fail. So let me get off this lane. So this is the Bronx, and people on this major dig, and I got big trucks. They are trying to get to the George Washington Bridge and over to Manhattan, which is to my right. And to the left of me is the South Bronx here. Used to be the poorest neighborhood in New York, but I think that has moved towards Fordham, which is East Bronx. East Bronx now is the poorest. South Bronx, is being gentrified. I just passed all these. So I see at 1 o'clock in the morning there's a posting for a Toyota Solaris, 120 something thousand miles on it for $3,100. And I say to myself, mind you, I've done tons of research on the Toyota Solaris, and we're talking about if I found a Toyota Solaris with a blown engine, which you ain't gonna find, I can go to the junkyard and literally pick up a Toyota Solaris engine with 5,000 miles on it for $850. So these cars are pretty amazing little convertible cute cars. So I'm thinking for the summer she'll just have her convertible and she can remember and live when she wanted one of those cars, and I would like to provide that for her. And so I've been checking, and I found one for $3,100. And when I text the person or message the person, I was like, I'm seriously interested in the vehicle, and like within 10 minutes they responded back. I was like, wow, 1 o'clock in the morning someone's up checking their Facebook? Like, that's just weird. Like, to me, I was just thinking, because I think it was posted at 1 a.m. and I responded to it maybe at 2 a.m. I just was maybe tossing and turning in the bed and decided to, just see if I see her car. And I'm also, looking at other cars too, that if I see one pop up, I want to check it, periodically. But it's not like me. I'm not on social media like that. I'm just. So, what happened next? I see a bunch of lights ahead of me. It's all good. Yeah, so they respond right back to me. Sorry about that. It's just on the other side there was something going on in it, so no big deal. So you just got to be on point, man. These roads, these cars are not having it on these roads. And they responded within 5 minutes. And I was like, when can we meet? They were like, can we meet tomorrow? I was like, yeah. And I was just like, where do you want to meet? And they were like, Manhattan and somewhere in Midtown. And I was like, all right, cool. Oh, they wanted to meet on Park Avenue. And I was like, okay, you on Park. And I was thinking, wow, there's a Toyota Solaris on Park Avenue for $3,100? That's interesting. That's a nice neighborhood. They would have to have it in a garage. So then the guy, I hit him up in the morning, said I was serious about meeting what time works best. He says between 2 and 3. And I was like, all right, perfect. I'll be there. And then I said, when I know more, I'll give you. So around 45 minutes before 2, because he said between 2 and 2:30. So I texted him at 1:15, 1:30. And I was like, hey, I'm on my way towards you. I will be in that area. I will not be late, or what, like. So he says, no. My son is driving the car. He'll be over here on this street. So he moved the street to 53rd Street and Broadway. And if anyone knows, Manhattan right now is going through this huge pandemic where all these office buildings are empty. Everyone is working from home. So what happened was, that block is pretty empty. It's like almost no activity, not a lot of people walking by. It's not a busy street. So when I get to 53rd and Broadway, I text them and say, oh, by the way, I brought LJ with me and I had the kids with me. And what I said was, they had to use the restroom. So they go into a restaurant to use the restroom. The guy pulls up, I watch him pull up. And I'm like, wow, this guy looks so young. It's a really young guy. And he had hip hop playing and he had the top down. And I looked at the paint job and the lights. It's going to definitely need a new paint job. It's going to need new lights, new headlights in the front, paint job. And then I noticed that the controller, to open up the controller was broken. But it was broken in a way where they actually looked like a saw. A saw was cutting the handles. And I was like, that looks interesting. Why would, because you can just access that panel without having to cut with a saw. And it was like so weird. The controller to open the windows up and down, it's down on the floor by the regulator, the window regulator, where you can look in and almost see that you can see the regulator arms moving up and down. So I thought that was strange. I said, oh, okay, so this is why this is $3,100, because someone is going to have to fix this. But I know I can get a door panel for $200. I can get a whole entire door panel and just slip that box right back on it. So already I'm thinking of ways I can fix this. I'm looking at the seats. The seats look a little like worn. They didn't. Well, then I started thinking, maybe the sun is wearing out the seats, because 125,000 miles. It's not. Oh shucks, I gotta plug up my phone. I started to do this. Okay, good. We were at 5%, but this charging cord is no joke. Oh, this beautiful car is coming by. Look, I'm gonna let it go. Oh. That is so beautiful. So already in my mind, I'm thinking that's going to be $250 to fix. The paint job is going to be $1,000. The rims, all the rims had little tiny scuffs all around them. They call that road rash. So there was road rash all around the car. So I'm thinking I could get each tire done for maybe $100. They'll sand it down and maybe even powder coat it. Maybe that might be like $175. I don't know. But all in my mind, I'm thinking. So now I'm back up to, in my mind, like $5,500. It's going to look like it came out of a showroom for the most part. And I'm still interested. $3,100 is a good deal. I'm thinking $3,100. So now I say, $3,100 is a small price to pay. There's a few things. The engine sounded beautiful because it's a Toyota. You can treat it like trash and leave it out in the sun. Oh, and also the top worked really well. And the top it looked like the top was changed. And I said, because those are known, you have to change them every 7 years, 8 years, roughly, and this is if you're living in Miami, this is if you're living in Florida, where you're using the top. Here in New York or in the tri-state area, we're not using the top like that. You're using the top for 3 months, 4 months tops. And then you're keeping the top up, or you got it stored somewhere. until next summer. But when I came, let me just say this. I came back. I asked the guy. I said, "You have a?" So he shows. Wait, what happened? So I said, "I'll take the car." Oh, I'm forgetting the best part. When I showed up, mind you, I was there 20 minutes waiting for the guy. This I forgot to say. I waited 20 minutes for this young man to show up with his dad's car. Let me concentrate on this turn. Yeah, he's leaving with, he's selling his father's car for him, blah, 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 whatever. He's 20 minutes late. He got the hip hop going and he shows me a car that had made me a little suspect. So now LJ comes, I'm overlooking at the car. I'm there about I'm there 1 minute. Yeah, I'm only there 1 minute, 2 minutes. A guy walks up and is like, "Hey," and he shakes the guy's hand. And I found that to be interesting because when I saw him, I reached my hand out to shake it and he gave me the fist bump. It's quarantine, no problem. I have my mask on, but it's quarantine, so I gave him the fist bump. But the other guy that showed up, he had like construction boots and some jeans. He looked like he was a blue collar guy, maybe working construction. I don't know. This guy, he shakes the guy's hand, but I didn't really take 100% note. I said, he didn't want to shake my hand though. Okay. He shook the guy's hand and the guy's like, "Hey, can you pop the trunk? Can you lift up the hood?" I said, "Whoa, what do you mean? You looking at the car too?" He says, "Yeah, I got a lot of people coming for the car." And I was like, okay. I didn't know a lot of people were coming to see this car. And he was like, "Yeah, I got you, I got him, and I got a few more people coming." So I was just like, that's interesting. I says, "Yo, are you the owner of this car?" He says, "No, it belongs to my father." And I was just like, "Did your father ever change the top to this?" And he was just like, "Oh, I don't know." And I was like, "Okay." I said, "How many owners have this car had?" And he was like, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "No, I'm saying, did somebody own this car? Did your father buy this car new or did he buy it used?" And he was just like, "Oh, I don't know. It's just, yo, man, listen, man, I drive a Bentley, you know what I mean? I'm trying to help my father out. So, we don't need 2 drop tops." So I said, "Oh, you got a drop top Bentley?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Wow, that's cool." And he pulls his phone, he had a Samsung phone that was like the Samsung 4 or the Samsung 5. It was a very old phone. And I thought, like, okay, this guy drives a Bentley, but he rocks a very old phone. And mind you, I'm looking at him and he looks like he's 18 tops. Tops, he looks 18. 19, maybe 19. So, the guy goes, and he's in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt and some Adidas running shoe. And it's like, "Yeah, I drive a Bentley." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, you drive a Bentley drop top. Okay, cool." And then my kids and wifey come out of the restaurant. I already told the guy, "Listen, kind of let me get a little space to look at the car. I'm not necessarily looking to look at the car with somebody." And he goes, "All right, no problem, no problem." So he puts his hands in his pocket and he just plays the background, which made me very uncomfortable. I was like, "Damn, I gotta see a car. You're arranging to meet a bunch of people." So now LJ comes with the kids and they're like, "What's this?" And I was just like, "Mommy's new summer car." And they were like, "What? Oh my God." And they get in and Madison is like, "It needs to be cleaned." That's the first thing she says. "Ooh, it needs to be cleaned. I don't know." And then LJ was like, "What's going on?" I said, "Baby, I wanted to get you something nice. This is kind of a surprise. I got a great deal on this car." And she was like, "Well, what's up with the handle?" I said, "That could be fixed, very low price. let me just see if you fit and the kids fit, because you know my kids are growing so tall, and she's very, very tall. So LJ gets in, she puts the seat all the way back. My daughter was able to get in right behind her with like 4 or 5 inches to spare. So I was like, not a problem. This is perfect. $3,100. A few things I need to fix, not a big deal. So the guy says, yeah, I got the title right here. I says, you have a pen? He says, no, I don't have a pen. So I was like, oh, okay, you don't have a pen. So this guy's selling the car, no pen. Okay? This guy is also doesn't know if his father bought the car new. Like my kids right there, when they experience that with me for the rest of their life, they're gonna remember Dad bought a used car that needed to be cleaned for mommy, and the door part needed to get fixed. So when I came back, LJ asked the guy, hey, can you pop the trunk for me? Let me see. She wanted to see how big the trunk is. And when I come across the street, the trunk is open, and I look, and the whole tub of the trunk, the plastic and the plastic and the, what's it called? What is that called? Like the carpeting was all pulled in and pushed out. So it was very difficult. Just wouldn't close. You would have to make sure it was properly done. So there's an interesting guy over here. I should pull over and show you. His name is Black Cherokee. I should do it. Do I see the boys out here? No, I don't see the boys out here. This guy here is an artist. He's been out here for a lot of years. His name is Black Cherokee, and he's always on the FDR Drive. He's been here since, I don't know, maybe I would say 40 years. If not 40, then no, definitely 40. Let me see, 14, 14, 24, 34, 44. So at least 35 years he's been here, because I've been seeing him here for the last 35 years. And he's, y'all want to say hi to Black Cherokee real quick? All right. Let's go say hi to Black Cherokee. Nice car. Black Cherokee. What up, man? You looking good, man. I'm live on YouTube.
All right, what up?
I was saying I've been seeing you here for 32 years. Is that true?
Been coming here since 1997.
1997. Yeah. They love you out here, Black Cherokee. It's great.
I told her, I said, people treat me nice when I come down here.
Yes, they do.
Treat me nice. I'm gonna keep coming down here.
Yeah, man. Let me just take a look at this.
Yes, sir, buddy.
I drive by every day.
How you doing? Good to see you. Go to Brooklyn, Gold Line, Brooklyn Rail. You ain't see it. They just did an interview.
Okay.
It's an article. Brooklyn Rail.
Brooklyn Rail.
Brooklyn Rail. The interview. It's online. How you doing? She put me out there too, because she wrote a real good article. You see it.
All right.
Now I'm waiting. Now I'm finna do New York Times. Either Friday or Monday, New York Times. For my art. Come on, hey buddy. Talk to the people.
Yeah, man.
I ain't never did nothing what we did. And my mama told me to be myself.
All right. Be yourself.
Can't nobody beat you being you.
You know you have a purpose.
Yeah. Watch it. One love, brother.
All right now.
Thank you for stopping by.
Black Cherokee.
God bless you. Oh!
That's Black Cherokee, y'all. Been out here since 1997. And people stop their cars honk at him, and he makes people's day. He's made my day for a lot of years. There's times I have been feeling down, and I'm driving down this FDR Drive, and what happens? Black Cherokee's right there, giving us his art. That was cool. See, I could have just been talking about what happened with the car, but that's not what the Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg channel is all about. Big Elvis the Chef Rosenberg's channel is about what you're experiencing right now. Black Cherokee! Sorry I haven't read any. There's a couple of times I did look up and I got totally distracted. Then I blamed it on the traffic. Come on. So, work with me. I'm like Kevin Samuels over here. Did I tell you what the fragrance of the day was? Oh, my phone is about to die. Boom. This is going to be water bottle number 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't had any soda since being sick. Even though I did take a little sip of LJ's ginger ale last night. I was like, ooh, this ginger ale is good. But no Coca-Colas. Because once you have one Coke, it's like the real Coke, you know. The number one side effect is you want more Coke, you know. Coca-Cola and So now, this young man who looks about 19 years old, when I come back with the pen, I went to my car, got a pen, we came back across the street, and I was just like, what's up with the bill of sales? He was like, the what? And I was just like, I need a bill of sale. I can't, you can't sell me a car and just hand me a title. So then he called, he was like, listen, man. Oh no, I go like this to him. As I was crossing the street, he's now telling my kids, all I hear is my kids go, you drive a Bentley? So I said, did you just tell my kids that you drive a Bentley? And he was like, yeah. And LJ says, yeah, he said it. He said it twice while he's driving. So that means from the time I walked across the street, literally 40 feet, you're telling me that you told my wife and kids twice that you drive a Bentley. Showed me a picture of a Bentley. Talked about you driving a Bentley. Oh, because when I went across the street to get the pen, I also went across the street to get a license plate. I had a license plate. I was going to put the license plate on. And I saw the trunk all messed up, and I made a joke. I'm like, I says, man, this trunk looks like it went through customs. And he was just like, and I was just like, okay. That right there had me saying, what? Like he had like a weird look on his face when I said that. This trunk looks like it's been through customs. Hence probably the cutting of the part in the car where the window switches are, instead of just popping it right out of its situation. Maybe that was like they might have frozen that door panel. That door panel might have been, maybe they placed something inside of there and then glued it where you couldn't just pop it open with a screwdriver. Like almost anywhere where you see the buttons are where you're pressing, you can just pop off that. And my point is this: a bell is going off that this car was in customs, and I think about that because my very good friend Ray, he has an Amazon business, and what he does is he buys containers, and inside these containers there's just tons of stuff, and what happens is those things go through customs. Those everything inside of there goes through customs. If it goes through customs, that's why anything you import or export, you have to have insurance, because there's a likelihood that customs will go through your stuff and you can never get it back. All that stuff gets lotted to be destroyed. So what they do is every single thing in the container, they'll itemize the list of it, and when you get in touch with one of the people that work in the docks, all of this is done under the table. They're all aware of it, but everything that goes through customs that they're searching has to be destroyed. But it never gets destroyed. It gets distributed to the people. And sometimes you find cars in these things. And when you have a car in it, you just part out the whole car. You go to a junkyard that you normally deal with, and they'll just take the car and part it out. So now what you do is those cars suffer from like little cuts and little pulls and tears that customs are going to do when they're searching a vehicle. All right, so I learned that from my boy Ray. Another great thing about getting older is that you make connections with people on your own, and if you learn to utilize everyone around you, and that you cannot be the one giving and that's over. You have to utilize these people that's around you. So now everyone around me is being totally you. Absolutely. And please don't have me around you if you're not utilizing me. You know, that's the best way. And ever since I've done that, let me back it up a little bit. All right, how's that? Ever since I've done that, I believe that it's helped me win on a monetary scale. You know, it's a little lonelier. You don't have like, you know, all these phony and BS friends around, but on a monetizing level, it works out so well. So I learned about the shipping business because my boy Ray was trying to convince me, you should open up, let me put an office right here for you. Because in Jersey, you can just build. You can just buy a property and just build it. You don't need all the blueprints and having all the inspections and all that stuff. You can do whatever you want. It's the Wild Wild West in New Jersey. That was Governor Christie. Good move. So, hold on. Let me see. All right, good. So now, let me think. The trunk was all weird, cramped. All the panels were pushed out into the trunk. You'd think that if a person's going to sell a car, they would open the trunk and not have all the panels where they can just be popped right back into place. Or maybe even a little hot glue gun. I don't know. It doesn't appear that you're trying to sell this vehicle, that you care, like the person who had the vehicle just didn't care about the vehicle. And I was thinking, that's interesting. And I said to the guy, I says, the person that you're selling this car for, can you call him? And they were like, he was like, yeah, I can call him right now. I said, all right, good. Because, you know, I'm going to need your ID to buy this car. So I take out, and the way I did it so quickly, he kind of just fell with me. He just rolled with me and was like, oh, okay. And he pulled out his wallet and he said, it's from Florida. So I take a picture real quick. I mean, just really quickly open up my phone, bow, and I got the picture. And then I said, let me see the card. And I was like, oh, and he was like, all right, let me get my card back. Yo, come on, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, okay. I was in the bar business, okay, for a lot of years. Nothing about that card looked real. That identification card didn't look real. And let me just say this because I might forget it. On further inspection, this is post the situation. No, I'll tell you that later. I'll try to remember. I'll try not to forget. So now, I'm gonna be nicer. This one, the sound. You know, people always say, "Oh my God, the sound is so loud. I can't listen to it in your car." I'm like, let's lower the volume. That, you know, that background hum. Everyone is so digital and they like it so perfect. You know, I'm not that YouTuber yet. So the kids are in the car, kind of jumping around. They come out of the car. Oh, the guy goes like this to me. He says, I go like this to him. I said, let me say. I said, he says now, he says, yeah, that license plate was off of the Bentley or something. Now he says it again about this damn Bentley. Altogether, it was like 5 times this young person is telling me that he's driving a Bentley, like I'm wasting his, like he's doing us a favor. He's a Bentley driver. You know, he's trying to help his father out. Come on, I don't have time for this. So now he's like trying to, I just felt so rushed. So I said to the young man, I said, listen, can you call the person that's on the phone? Oh, no. Right before that, I said, you know, you should tell my kids. I said, hey, kids, come here. And they were like, what's up? I said, this guy say he drives a Bentley. My son is like, yeah, he say he drives a Bentley. And I said, you should tell my kids what you got to do to drive a Bentley, because they would love to be able to drive a Bentley. And he goes, that's my business. You heard? That's my business. And he's literally said, you heard? And I was just like, what do you mean that's your business? And my son goes, yeah, shouldn't you be proud of what you do? And then he was like, yo, you asking a lot of questions. And I was like, yo, can you call your father and let me talk to him? So there's an older guy, looks like he's on an oxygen tank, kind of laying down with the big pillow in the back. And he's like up close with the phone, and he's like, yeah. I said, listen, there's no bill of sales. I need a bill of sales for this. He said, no, in Jersey, you don't need a bill of sales in Jersey. I said, yeah, but I'm here in New York, buying a car in New York, in the middle, you know, and you're from Jersey, telling me a car in Jersey. Yeah, look at the back of the title. It says it on the right, what you can put down on the title. And I was like, huh. And then I was just like, this don't even feel right. I was just like, no bill of sales. And then the guy was like, you know what, Dad? Forget it. I got people out here with money trying to pay for this. Let me go. And he hangs up on his father, pulls out the money. Mind you, I already had handed him the money right after I came with the pen. And we're overlooking the title. He's now counting it. He's counting the money while we're looking at the title. The title felt real weird. It didn't have any real texture to it, and it was very beat up. I mean, we're talking about, it looks like somebody washed it and then like maybe ironed it and then folded it and left it outside. I mean, it just was like, it didn't feel like, you know, we have several, you know, that's a document that goes in a folder. You don't put that folder where it's all nasty and destroyed. And Toyota Solara drivers are not lazy drivers. They like to take care of their cars. So now, what happens? He then takes the money out of his pocket and says, yo, I got people who's going to pay, and tries to hand it to LJ. And I said, whoa, hold on a minute. What are you doing? We haven't even finished discussing this. Just relax yourself. I says, this on the title, it has a name. Who is this person? He was like, too many questions, yo. You asking too many questions. I was just like, oh, and then that's when he takes the money and like almost throws it at LJ. Like, I don't want this. Where she had to go, oh, like, you know, hot potato, and had to make sure that the fold was unfolding. That was folded, the $3,100 started to unfold. So now, let this guy go. Okay, cool. So she's playing hot potato. She got to say, yo, man, you're very disrespectful, man. And I was just like, yo, this car, is this a stolen car you're trying to sell? Is this a car that was from a freight? You trying to sell this freight car? I said, yo, man, you trying to play me? And I just took what looked like or could have been a title, which I doubt. I didn't even have a chance to look at the VIN on the title to see if it matched the VIN on the windshield. He might have lost his mind if I'd have did that. So I just took the title and I said, you're not gonna do this to anybody today. You ain't gonna make somebody have a horrible day. So I just took the title, ripped it, and just threw it towards the open seat. This guy flips out. What you do? Yo, my nigga, oh, you up, my nigga? Oh, what you doing? Yo. And I was just like, what are you saying to me? You're gonna put your hands on me? He was just like, yo, I know how to box. And I was just like, okay. I told my daughter, I says, yo, son and daughter, everybody back up. LJ gets in front of me. And I says, LJ, please back away from me. Do not get in this person's way. So she backed up, which I was very happy about. And I said, what you saying to me, man? I said, you trying to sell a stolen car out here. You trying to play me that I'm asking too many questions, and then you threw money at my woman. So he was just like, I'm calling the cops. So he turns his phone on, right? And he starts screaming, help, 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 police, help, police, help, help. And then this guy on a bicycle says, he has his phone out, and said, I've been here the whole time, and no, he did not hurt, he did not assault you, he did not come after you, you're lying, yo. So now there's 6 people with their phones out, but one guy was out there the whole time recording the whole freaking thing, showing that I didn't assault this person. So now I'm saying, let me just leave. I said, I'm just leaving, you have a good day. And he was just like, in my, like chest to chest, and I'm just walking towards my vehicle, and he's like, please hit me, please put your hands on me, please, so I can knock you the fuck out, nigga. And I was just like, have a good day, young man, have a good day. So we're all walking towards the car. He's yelling and screaming for the cops. He then stops recording, calls the cops, and a woman shows up with a baby. A woman looked like she looks like she probably, well, she looks 50, but she might be only 40. And I say that respectfully. You know, hard life. You know, hard life. Looks like she was, see, I got friends that were from Kuwait. So she don't really look like Kuwait money and Kuwait features, but she's Middle Eastern. I would say she might be more like what's the place? Maybe Turkey. I would say Turkish. She had that kind of a more of a gypsy-ish look to her. So now she's holding a baby that's about 2 years old. I then, what do? I let me think. I didn't, she just popped up out of nowhere, and she was just like, police! Now she's screaming for the police. She needs help. We're talking about screaming at the top of their lungs. So now finally about 5-6 minutes of this has gone by as I'm walking to my car. Now he's leaning on my car door like, no, you're not leaving. You assaulted me. You pushed me. You assaulted me. You attacked me. You attacked me. And I was like, okay. And I was just like, I think we should just wait this out. So the police show up. He runs to the cops. The cops, the first thing, they're like, sir, back up. Slow down. New York cops. Don't run up on them screaming out of control, woman or male. So the female cop, Hispanic, and male cop, I would say Haitian. So the guy's Haitian, she's some sort of Hispanic. They separate. So they're like, what happened? I was like, I don't even know. I said, sir, I don't need the police. I don't need the police. So then he like, LJ, what's going on? I was just like, baby, all right, good. You can kind of tell him. So they talked for like 10, 15, 20 seconds. Mind you, when he went to talk to LJ, he pressed his Acon camera. Boom, he presses his Acon camera, which is his body camera. And the minute he stopped speaking with her, he pressed it again to turn it off. I was like, wow, that's interesting. He didn't leave it on for the whole situation. So now the guy is telling officer, I have on tape him assaulting me. That's what he tells the officer. So she said, let me see it. So he goes, all right. So he's showing her. And then after I'm just standing there, LJ standing there. My daughter started to cry when she saw the police. And I said, listen to me carefully. When you see the police show up, you put a smile on your face because they're here to help us. You understand that? And she's like, yes, Daddy. And I was like, yeah, we don't cry when the cops come. We shake their hands and say, how you doing? My name is such and such. What's going on? You know, how can I help you? We're not afraid of police. We are pro-cop, period. Okay? These people got a job to do. Let them do their job. So the cop comes over and says, sir, tell me what happened. I says, I don't need government. No, then I said, yo, you gonna put your body cam back on? He was like, oh, you want my body cam on? And he puts it on. I said, yeah, why you don't have your ACOM body camera on? And he was just like, no, I got it on now. What the hell? What's the problem? I said, no, it's not a problem. I said, yo, I could barely see your name. Your name tag is all smudged. What's your name? You need to come over and say hello. And he goes like this, well, you can understand why the guy is mad because you took his thing. And I said, did you just say that I did something? What are you describing a crime? And he was just like, no, I'm just saying, you know, you could understand why the guy's upset. I was like, sir, I have nothing else to say to you. I do not need the police. Please. He was just like, yeah, but you got to answer my questions. And I was like, am I legally obligated to answer your questions? Because the only question I have for you is, are you doing an investigation on me? He's like, yeah, I'm doing an investigation on me. We got called out for you. And I was just like, well, then I intend to not help you in any way with any investigation that involves me. And he was like, why you got to be like that? And I was like, got to be like what? He was like, I said, sir, the only time in any way, shape, or form that I will be answering any questions from you is if I'm in handcuffs. But I will have to talk to my lawyer first. No, I didn't say that yet. Yeah, I think I said, yeah, if am I under arrest, then I'll give you, I'll give you some information, but I'm not answering any questions on the investigation on me. He was like, why you got to go that far? So now LJ's like, oh, nervous. Oh my God, they're going to arrest you. I'm like, baby, calm down. So he's still constantly trying to talk to LJ. I said, LJ, ask him if you should get a lawyer. And she was like, baby. And I was like, don't play with me. Ask this officer if you should get an attorney. Because you're being questioned on the street without an attorney. So she says, should I get an attorney? He's like, no, you don't need an attorney. I says, thank you. Because all you got to do is say that, and that basically protects you, because you're telling the officer that you need an attorney, and then it's on his body cam. So there's nothing else to say. I says, we're not talking to you, sir. We don't have anything to say to you. So now the woman, I hear the police officer tell the guy, sir, I don't see an assault on his phone. And he's like, that guy put his hands on me. He insulted me. He ripped up the... He's like that. So they went all the way across the street because he's irate. He's like crying. I don't know if he was crying. I think he was crying. Tears are falling down his face. He got tears in his eyes. His mother is upset, talking about, how dare you raise your children like that? And now he's screaming, look at my baby. Look at my baby. That's my baby. That's my baby. You guys, look at how horrible you're raising your children. I was like, whoa. All right. So then after about another 5 minutes, the cops have been there altogether 9 minutes. Now we're on the 10th minute. I says, kids, get in the car. And I said, am I detained? And he was like, Little does he know that I am in a custodial detainment, where if a person calls somebody on me, I'm detained. But he didn't even, he was so intimidated that he was like, and then the woman comes over and he goes over to the woman. Are we good? And she says, yeah, we good. So at the same time, they hit their body cam, like at the same time. And he was like, have a good day, sir. And they turned around. They went back to their car. So the guy, as we get in the car and leaving, he's like across the street with tears in his eyes rolling down his face. I'm white. I'm going to see you in court because I'm white and I'm going to win. And I'm like, mind you, this kid is like some little Arabic kid screaming, I'm white. I said, sir, just because you can check off Caucasian now doesn't mean that you've assimilated to whiteness. And we just drove off. I felt like a superhero. Like the guy, if let's say the guy wasn't with him, like, you know, there's a chance that this person was with him when they did when the guy walked up acting like, oh, let me see underneath the hood. They could have been working in cahoots so that I can feel the pressure to pay. So, but on further inspection of that picture that I took of his ID, his height, you know what his height was? His height was 6'10". Can't have a legal ID with false information. Also, it says that he lives on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, Florida. Looks like a fake ID to me. Looks like we got some 19-year-old kid working with some older man trying to make some shady moves. I believe that I would have been stuck with that car for 90 days with no title, fighting, and they would have been like, sir, this car was supposed to be destroyed 5 years ago. You know? So, I'm glad I was able to have them now have to maybe, well, I mean, if it was a total crime, they would just have to print up a new piece of paper. But if it was a legitimate title to some sort, it's going to take them another 30 days to get that done right. So I definitely helped the next guy after me with a pocket full of money. I feel great about that. I do. I really, really do. You are appreciated for tuning in. We went from the Bronx all the way to Manhattan, and then boom, we are now in Brooklyn, over the Brooklyn Bridge. And we did that together. Yes, we did. You are appreciated. I promise to read all the live chats. Just not right now. Everyone knows how to donate, though, right? You want to donate to $, Elvis Rosenberg in the Cash App, and at Elvis / or dash, is it dash or slash? Dash. It's dash Rosenberg. Elvis dash Rosenberg on Venmo. Thank you. Boom.